Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your energy. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your weekly tarot energy forecast for December 18th through the 24th. I'm so grateful to be with you here today, and I've been so busy that I forgot to post this. Can you believe it? It's incredible. It's already December 18th. Let's get right into it. Let's take a breath and call in our angels and our divine guides, beloved light beings of the highest order. Ooh, we already had some fall. Okay, we're going to keep shuffling. We thank you for holding space for the most high, divine, clear messages. And I pray that those messages come through me in the name of love and in light, built with majesty, that we may all receive the highest service from these messages, myself included. I bless this reading. Thank you, our angels. Thank you, our guides. We are so very grateful for you joining us now and evermore. And we had a whole bunch fall out, so let's see what's happening here. Oh, well, maybe not a whole bunch. 3 so far. Okay, let's go for a few more. Take another breath, and I'm getting to pull 3. This one. Oh, that one came as 2. Trust and compromise. And I don't read cards upside down. Let's take another one. And breakthrough. Okay. I don't read cards upside down. I read them all encompassing for what they bring. So let's have a look at this. Okay. There is the Dreamer. We had this a while ago, and we did have the Lover's card last week. So it's interesting that the Dreamer comes up because those levels of falling in love or finding someone that you have a little special feelings for is turning a cycle in a way where they might be distancing themselves, or you might be distancing yourself from them. But at the same time, you're looking over your shoulder. You're kind of saying like, oh, but what if I did let them in? Where are they now? Why aren't they calling? Why aren't they texting? It's that kind of energy where you're not emotional, but you're curious, and you're definitely thinking about them. But you know what is said is that if you're thinking about them, they're thinking about you too. So there's something that's happening. Some new shift in that relationship is happening, and it's taking off from where it started last week. And the guidance is to trust. So to allow yourself to know that what was true in your heart last week is absolutely true this week. So if you know in your heart that they have feelings for you, trust that, but also trust the process of that coming to fruition. This person is fully in the act of just jumping out of a plane and ever faithful, right? And faith goes beyond reason. They are open-heartedly just open in their body, in their minds, and they are trusting, they are releasing themselves into the juiciness of life. And that's what this Dreamer card is asking of us this week, because as well, next to it on the top row, we have clinging to the past. In the past, would you have been like, why aren't they texting me? Maybe they don't like me. Should I have gone too far with them? Calling 100 people, asking a million questions and trying to figure it out. And this time around, what this guidance is for us this week, especially emotionally, it seems those top 3 cards, clinging to the past, trust, and the dream, they're all cards of the emotions. And so if you're holding on to the past and expecting this person, him or her, to show up in a way for you that all of your exes have, you're going to miss the boat. You're going to miss when they actually do show up, when they actually do call, because they might not call in the way that you expect them to call, the way that others have called. Does that make sense? Because maybe they're not a caller and they're a texter, or maybe they're the kind to write a love note, or maybe they're a kind to just distance themselves and have a little space versus your ex who was like constantly hounding you and all over it, right? So there's a different play at play, if you will. And it's definitely a time to release who you've been, the lover that you were in the past, to release that version of yourself, to throw those old clothes away. What's right in front of you is the Holy Grail, is the sparkling vision of you in your newness as a new version of what kind of a lover do you want to be now? What kind of a lover? How can you be different now than the kind of lover you were in the past, right? And this is all very interesting because of our trust card in the middle, encouraging us to let go of how we expect things to show up, to let go of how we need the other person to show up, right? So it's kind of beautiful and romantic because there is this gleaning into the sunset and kind of fantasizing about like what is or what if and what could be, and oh, are they thinking of me, and all these really kind of juicy romantic aspects. Yet what this top layer is showing us is that there is work for us to do, and it's within ourselves first. So this is more about you than the romance. This is more about you than if you guys become lovers, than if you guys become, married forever and wander off into the fields. This is about you. This lover, this person that you're thinking about, is actually allowing you, inviting you, and causing you to look at deeper layers of yourself, if you will go there. If you will look at deeper layers of yourself, of how much expectations you put on other people, how much of your happiness is determined by their actions. Can you free them? Can you free yourself so that you can be in your own sovereignty, be in your own peace? Right? And remember that that's you that creates it. You are the co-creator of your own peace and joy, right? Not the actions of someone on the outside. Although, of course, it can happen where we're like, they didn't call, I'm sad. And then they call and you're like, I'm happy. There's these fluctuations of moods. And so you're going to ride it out. You're going to ride it out. And if you're going to dream at all, right, with the dream card, keep dreaming. And I'll hold this up here so that you can really see it. Keep dreaming of what your highest ideal is. Keep thinking about these the basic values or the fun aspects that you appreciate in your relationship. Sometimes when they don't show up, they're doing us a favor. When they don't show up and we're dreaming about them, we might feel like it's a little bit of a sad romance, yet at the same time, they are doing us a favor because we get to look within, we get to turn it around and look within ourselves and see, wow, I'm really hanging all of my happiness and all of my sorrow on the one or two actions of this person. And if that's how you're going to go into the relationship, say they call you a week later and they're like, oh my God, I've been thinking about you. I'm so sorry, but my aunt got sick and I had to take her to the hospital, and then the cat vomited, and then, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden you're sitting there going like, oh my God, I feel like such a fool. I had projected all this stuff onto them and I'd changed my mind and gotten all these emotions all out of whack. You know what I mean? Like there's a divine dance that's happening. And if you allow yourself to trust, to just relax, unplug, de-link yourself energetically from them. Imagine there are connections connecting you to them. Say, I de-link from fill in the blank. I de-link from Bob. I de-link from Alice. And what happens is the ways that you're connected to them become released. Right? And that creates a clear space in the space between you both so that love can fill it and the highest good can manifest without all of your psychic needs and projections and judgments and thinking about that person, because they can feel it, right? We're all psychic. They can feel every feeling that you have about them or towards them. So cut the cords, de-link yourself from them, and for the highest good, you can say, and universe, please de-link them from me. And so on either side, there's this disconnect, so the space in between can breathe, can dance. And remember, this is about you. Letting go of the past, right? So, if you haven't been in a relationship in a really long time, think about the last relationship you were in. And who were you then? What were your expectations? I bet they were completely different to the version of you that's arising now in the name or in the face of this new love. And again, whether this person, the dreamer, the person you're dreaming about, ever calls you again or not, this is the exercise, because it's all about you. It's all about you, right? Who are you now versus who were you then? And what areas can you 2.0 yourself? Which is really listening to your truth, listening to your authentic heart. Where can you be more real with yourself? And embody that now, and trust yourself, trust your truth, right? And to trust that it's either going to allow this person to leave and a new person to come in, or whatever the variables might be. But it's releasing, clinging to the past, which is releasing your clinging to this person. to the way that this person, this whole love affair needs to show up. And I know I've been there, we've all been there. It's the stuff that really good movies can be made of, those romantic, juicy things where you're like, oh, longing and hoping and wishing. And then sometimes they run towards each other at the end of where the train station, and they're just like, I've loved you the whole time, me too. And it's like this beautiful thing. And sometimes, you know, the lady goes on the boat and she just doesn't know if she's ever going to see him again. And sometimes that's just what life is. It's an adventure. So let it be adventurous, right? De-link. Don't put all your hopes and all your eggs in one basket, as they would say in Ireland. And I'm sure you've heard it here too. Okay. Now, interesting, because as we release and as we 2.0 ourselves, and as we are like, okay, my happiness is not determined by your actions, my possible dream lover, man, woman, person thing, right? What happens is the breakthrough comes. And of course, because you're not attached. And that's when the magic happens. When you let go and you let love, you let go and you let God, you let go and you allow the quantum organizer, that higher principle of the Most High, to get to work. That's why we de-link. And that is a topic I will be talking about in my upcoming 4D Trinity. It's my live stream every Thursday morning here at 10 a.m. If you can't watch my live stream, check out the playlist. I will put a playlist right here of my 4D Trinity shows. I think this is going to be like the 9th or 10th one, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for your support. Okay, let's get back in. So, de-linking, yes, allowing that sacred space to abide, so that the natural Most High comes into being. Breakthrough, breakthrough, breakthrough. That's what happens when you relax. What's right under the trust card is another card of the emotions, going with the flow. This is you not having your finger on any dial. This is you not having it all figured out. This is you trusting. This is you relinquishing the dream. And as much as the dream is the dream, and we all have the dream and the juicy romantic, like, are they thinking of me? And wouldn't it be so nice if, you know, like it's the fairy tale, it's the fantasy. Ooh, yes, it's the fantasy is what it is. Yet, to constantly live in fantasy is not allowing ourselves to have a grounding in the 3D. And the 3D is where the real shit is, right? Oops. Pardon me. Pardon my French, darling. But it is where the real thing is in the third dimension, okay? So, going with the flow releases us further from how things need to show up, and it allows the grand design to come in. And it is interesting because we have this compromise card on this lower deck with breakthrough and going with the flow. And compromise is a meeting of minds. It's saying like, okay, I'll meet you here. And this lover, this dream, this person you're dreaming about just might represent that. Because this is what this whole reading seems about, unless we pull another card or two and get like a different offshoot. But this seems to be all about this lover and the dreamer within you, and how that inspires a greater healing to your greater authentic self in being the kind of lover that you want to be in the world, thus the kind of lover that you attract into your world. Well, this person, it seems, is going to initiate a level of compromise where you're going to get to decide. And you're going to be, a part of you is going to be like, oh man, I wish I would have just stayed the dreamer and not ever known this. They might be like, you know what, I'm going to Alaska and I'm working on the fish boat. I would love to have a long distance with you. We can write notes and Skype and maybe sext. I'm feeling a little juicy tonight, pardon me. But you know, and you can be like, well, that wasn't exactly what I had in mind. I thought we were gonna like elope and move to, you know, Minnesota and get a farm and have goats. And they might be like, yeah, but I really need to go on this mission. So that's just a metaphor of how the universe might be inviting divine change in the way that you see things. And are you willing to compromise? What parts of you are you willing to compromise? Where can you still be authentic and integral and loving towards yourself, right? As you let go of the past and let the holy grail of your truth be and preside, where are you still willing to compromise? You know, and sometimes it's like, you know, one of the partners might say like, well, I want to see you every single day. I want to sleep with you. I want to move in right away. And the other person might be like, can we just do weekends? You know, and it's that kind of a thing where it doesn't mean the relationship or the romance or the love affair doesn't have wings. It's just that there might be some little interesting aspects of it that you get to sit with, right? And not as your old version of your lover self, but as the version of yourself that is like the new, wise, trusting, not dependent on someone else to make them happy lover, because you're your own lover first, right? You are your own lover first. And I think that's what the message is here. So where are you willing to compromise? If you do spend time with this lover, there may well be a place where you'll have to meet in the middle. You'll have to meet with respect to both of your integrity. And there's room, there's totally room, because we have the breakthrough on this level. There's totally room for both of you to fully inhabit your authentic self, to be true to yourselves, and still to get a little yummy yums with this person that you so are into and attracted to and thinking about, right? So let's just pull one or two more and see if we have a summary or if there's just a whole other little message for us as we finish up here, December 18th through December 24th of 2017. Are there any little finishing touches? Two cards. Okay, we had abundance last week, abundance and inner voice. And inner voice is a major arcana card. And that's all meditation, that's all intuition. And look at the crystals and look at the third eye. I'm trying to hold this up straight here. And look at the dolphins. That represents breathing. And I know I'm kind of going a million miles an hour here because I forgot to post this. I forgot to even record it. It's nighttime, and usually I record in the day, so the lighting is different. And I got to run and go teach a class here shortly. So I'm like, but the inner voice, my darling. Right? That's the trust. That's the going with the flow. That's the where we say meditate, meditate, meditate. That's the third eye opening. That's you not being like, what? They don't want to move to Minnesota with me right away and get a farm with goats, right? Because that's the part of us living in the fantasy that might be connected to that part of you of how you've always done relationships or seen things in the past, of like been totally conflicted or surprised when the other person doesn't want exactly what you want, and then you're heartbroken. Yet you're learning, you're trusting, you're 2.0ing, right? You're grand mastering your grid here. And so you're learning that a healthy relationship can most likely be all about compromise. So you allow your meditation practice to bring you deeper. You allow your breath to bring you deeper into what is your true values, what is truly important for you. And this is your road to self-mastery, to abundance, where you can have the best of both worlds. And whether that means that compromise of being there on a boat in Alaska for the summer or the winter, and you're down here, but maybe you've always wanted to go to Alaska, and maybe you're like, and they're like, well, I do get a 2-week break in the middle of da-da-da-da, and if you want to come up, and you're like, oh my God, I get to go see the whales and my lover, and like do this whole like long distance I've never done. And, you know, you could like work it into being something good that you love, that you are excited by, and that leads to other paths on your journey of self, which leads to your abundance of self, your know thyself, your awareness of self, your kicking back and knowing how blessed you are self, because you are ever wise and you are fully aligned with that divine masculine and the divine feminine, with just enough doing and a whole lot of being, that the divine can bridge and bring into your spheres all that is your gift. All that you know is in your heart. It's already here. This is the thing. This is why we're collapsing time while we're learning about all this stuff, is because those intentions, those truths in our heart. I had a huge, it's the new moon today. I had a huge epiphany about this today. And I'll go into it later in the live stream on Thursday. But I realized, man, did I realize that there's this truth in my heart, and it's not an intention. It's not a thing. Okay, and I'm saying all this because of the abundance card. It's not an intention that I made up. It's not a vision that I conjured up, that I'm like, ooh, let me see, I'm going to like write a page of what I can envision. This is something that came to me in my meditations over the years, over and over and over, and in greater and greater detail. Sometimes I pay attention to it. Sometimes I get very excited by it, and I'm like, oh my God! And sometimes I'm like, I just completely forget about it. And today I remembered, and I was like, oh, that's it. And it's always been here. It's always been here, but it was something that came from the inside out. It's not something that I tried to create from the outside and bring it in. And that's your abundance. So in this relationship, in all of your relationships, because remember, you finding this lover, you being in these like interesting times with this lover is really about you being your own best lover and loving yourself more. So we always meditate, we breathe, we go in deep, use your crystals so that you can come back into alignment with the abundance of your true self. The abundance of your true self. I'm going to put a link to my meditation playlist right here so you can check out. I have a whole bunch of them. You can have fun exploring them. Abundance is yours, whether you get with that person or not. And I pray if you do that you have fun. Remember last week, a part of our teaching was like, don't take it so seriously. Don't take this love affair so seriously. And if you're in a long-term relationship, there's a next turn to this wheel with all of this lover information, right? There's new levels of you 2.0ing yourself, them 2.0ing themselves. And moving from this part of yourself that wishes that it could be more like X, Y, and Z to like relaxing and trusting, getting clear with those authentic parts of you as you release and heal the past part of you that is just bringing that past pain or perspective into the now and projecting it onto that lover, right? You let all that go. And you say, okay, I can meet you halfway, which is a whole new, different way, maybe for both of you. And then the breakthrough comes. Meditate and know that you are ever abundant. And so it is. And so it is. I'm so very grateful to be with you here today. And check it out. All of my links are down in the description box. I have books. I have a free book. When you join my Love Letter, my monthly newsletter, you get a free book called The Higher Self, Blueprint of Mastery. And I send out a love letter a month or two sometimes, letting you know about my teachings, my books, my blogs, all that juicy stuff. So please do connect, get online, sign up, and I would love to be in touch. And by the way, I haven't launched it yet, but it's out at my website, TuesdayMayThomas.com. I actually have a new page called Music and Meditation where you can check out not only my meditations from this YouTube channel, and you can buy them, but my music too. I'm starting to put a few of my songs out. I was a singer-songwriter for many years, so I'm starting to share a little bit about them. You can listen, you can purchase, and thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Blessings on this beautiful night, and namaste.